Right. Welcome to the Shake, Rattle and Roll podcast. Really pleased to have one of the Welsh legends with me today. One and only Song. How are you doing, Lou?
Yeah, really good, mate. You know,
How are you coping? You're quite an hyperactive type of person. You know, I know you personally. How are you coping with this lockdown, buddy?
well, I bought a Concept 2 rower, and I've done 2 marathons, 4 half marathons.
I have seen that on social media, but you've done some miles on it.
Some unbelievable amount of sprints, kettlebell work. You know, it's nice. You know, it's nice in one respect that you can just focus on yourself. You know, I haven't got to worry about the fighters, the gym.
Yeah.
Obviously, you got to worry about, you know, you don't know how long we're going to be closed for, but
Yeah.
you know, it's just my little playground again. That's quite nice, you know. But yeah.
I found it that like I've always, you know me, but I'm always really, really hectic, and what I have found nice is that I've had time to do stuff in the house, spend some time with the family a little bit, be home in the evenings. That's something I can't remember doing for the last 20 years, being home in the evenings on a Monday to Friday, you know, same as yourself. So but I'm ready now, you know. I'm a creature of habit. I'm ready for it all be over and let's get back to some normality and get some training and get some fights going.
Because like normally I'll go down in the day, do my training in the day. I'll be home 4 or 5, and Wayne goes down at night and does his training. And but I get home at 5 o'clock. I'm like, what's this? What am I meant to do now? Like, it's insane. You know, like yourself, never had it.
No, it's took a bit of well, hey, it's been all right with the sun's out. Usually you get stuff done outside and whatever, but
get the guns out, innit?
Yeah. The old weather's starting to change now, so I don't know if people will lose their minds if they're stuck in the house, I think, and especially now we're in over the next couple of weeks. We'll just have to wait and see. You know, being a gym owner as well, you're probably waiting for this July the 9th meeting with the government to see what plans they got for us as gyms.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see how they can really stop it for much longer, considering the whole climate. With all this rioting and stuff going on, people have got to stay healthy. People have still got to stay active, and the more time gyms are closed, the more anxious and wild people are going to get. You know, people need to work out. Like,
I think a lot of these protests, you know, and I don't want to get into politics with this because we're going to be talking about it, but you know, the Black Lives Matters, and then you know, you've seen this weekend the football hooligans. I just think people are going so crazy, and they're using the peaceful protest as an excuse, really, just to get out and go mad. I mean, there was thousands and upon thousands, none of them social distancing, none of them with masks on. So if we don't see a massive spike in the next month or so, it's telling me that the country's ready to go back to normal.
Go, 100%, yeah.
Right. Usually on these podcasts, what I do, I give the people watching a chance to get to know how you got involved in martial arts, what your background is, and you know, I'm quite familiar with your background and everything else, but I'm going to treat it as if I've never met you before. So some of the questions you probably think, oh shit, you're on about, you know, he knows these, but it's just for the people watching to get a good grip. So how old was you, Lou, when you got in, you know, your first taste of martial arts, and you know, what was your first art?
I think I was probably 10 or 11, and I still remember waiting outside Pontyclun Dojo to go in for judo, crying because I was a wimp back then. Still am, really, but yeah, no, I was like, nah, I'm not going in. Who
took you? Your parents, was it?
Yeah, my mum, my mate Beanie. He was training, and he's like, come on, nah, I'm not doing it. Went in, and that's all she wrote, really. That's the next 20 years of my life written off.
Yeah, so your first start was judo, and you stuck it down. You got your black belt. You competed for Wales as well, Lou.
Yeah, well, I was on like the Welsh squad for a while. I didn't really compete as part of Wales, but done a lot of went around and done a lot of comps off my own back. I sort of wasn't the best at judo, but what I always had was that the scramble. So I'd get a half clean throw, you know, and just get on top and stay on top, you know. Yeah,
use the pins and whatnot with the scoring. Yeah. So you walked in there as a young kid, upset. Did you enjoy it, your first class, once you actually got through the door and you fell in love with it? Yeah,
you know, I think you see kids do it these days, and like you can see they're so anxious to get or scared to get on the mat.
Yeah.
And then within 2 or 3 minutes, they're running around loving it. Like yourself, and amazing. But yeah,
So,
went from.
Yeah, sorry, go on. You went from.
I went from there, and then again, I started kickboxing when I was about 16, 17. I got like a freestyle taekwondo kickboxing. Again, my mate Beanie and his brothers introduced me into that because I had to be older to do it. But as I was a bit of a loose cannon, like just let him train. Like, So the sensei, Tony Shepard, let me train. I was like 14, 15. And so I was sparring with adults and stuff like that, and it was that much of a tool. I mean, if I were to get my own way, I'd just kick them in the balls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I weren't the best. I just wanted to win. But so were
you still training judo at the time, or you separated from judo and put your efforts into the kickboxing then?
I sort of went in between.
Yeah.
If I favoured that more, I'd go more towards that.
Yeah.
Just try to fill my evenings and just enjoy what I did.
I want to go back to the judo because you're one of the most prolific competitors I know. You've competed, really high level in MMA. You've competed in judo. You've competed at high level grappling competitions, whether that be jiu-jitsu in the gi, whether it be sub only. You're always active. How old was you in judo when you had your first competition? And what was that like for a young Liu Long? Was it something you relished, being a bit of a competitive side to you, or was it something you were a bit nervous of? Did you enjoy the experience?
Yeah, back then with judo, you had to compete for your grades.
That's right, yeah.
So you'd get your license signed off in the club to show your theory, and then you'd go to Sophia Gardens and have a scrap. Yeah, and I still remember sitting there on my knees waiting to call my name, and scared, like, oh God.
Yeah.
As soon as you get a grip on someone or they get a grip on you, like, right, let's have it. But I flew my first grade in. I think went all 3 Ippon, got like a yellow belt 2, and then just from there, just loved it.
So it was an enjoyable. Do you think that stuck with you then as you've grown, that just competitive edge? You've enjoyed facing off against people regardless of the rule set?
Yeah, I mean, it's just rewarding, isn't it? I mean, you put time, effort, your life on the line. You training, and then the reward is the fight, I suppose. But I mean, it's enjoying that process, the pain, and focusing on something is.
And those experiences, as a youngster, even 8, 9, 10, whatever it was, when it's an apprenticeship leading up to where you are now, isn't it? It's getting used to competing in front of people. It's getting used to the nerves of competition, the thought of going out there and having a one-on-one scenario with somebody, with your family watching, your friends, and you're going to let them down. And I say this to everybody, I'm keen for all my MMA team to be doing as many jiu-jitsu comps as possible, because you just get used to that butterfly effect in your stomach, that pressure of fighting in front of your friends and family, about letting people down. So I think it's key, and I wish everyone would have that mindset of, right, regardless of one, let's do my competitions alongside my MMA career, because I think it's good for the mindset.
I think what happens with I was certainly like it as a young pro. They almost got too much ego to lose.
Yeah,
just a jiu-jitsu player.
I totally
and I've never felt better than when I was competing twice a month.
Yeah.
Then obviously a month off before a fight, but I was just competing. Never felt better. Really able to ride the nerves and just. This is just day in, day out, That's where I'm coming back to now. So we're trying to compete.
With did you play any other sports as a young lad, though, or was it just always judo and then into kickboxing?
I've always been pretty good at anything sporty, but they used to call me paper shin pads in football. Just tackle and stick a shin in there. Those were the kids. Those are tough shins, and but after I'd done a bit of judo, I was playing rugby for the school and stuff like that. But I could never get over not being able to run in, grab someone and hip throw them.
Yeah.
It was always my go-to sort of thing. So I was always like getting sin binned and, hot-headed. But yeah, yeah.
And I've had this conversation with a couple of the guys I've had on the podcast. When you're a singler, and by single I mean when you're a competitive fighter, all your preparation is with a team, but the actual result of your competition performance lies with you. You can't, whereas a lot of guys, I think, that are fighters have struggled in that team environment where, say, for example, rugby, you might have the best game in the world, but if the other 14 don't perform in that manner, you're losing. You're performing to the best of your ability, yet you're not getting the result that your performance deserves. And I think a lot of guys that have been fighters or singular competitors find that struggle a little bit with the team scenario. Do you know what I mean? Because you're relying on others.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I mean, when you win a fight or lose a fight, you look back at it, and like obviously I lost my last bout, but I looked at it, I thought, well, it's what I choose to do. I enjoy it. It's my mistakes. Nobody else cares. Only me. So what? Move on. Whereas I suppose in a team you got everyone else hating you, your manager's hating you. You drop that ball. At least it's just me being hard on myself. Just going, you're a dick. I'll move on. But
I played football for 20 years, and I was as competitive as Al, and I was one of them vocal ones that I'd be screaming at somebody because I knew they'd not tried or they hadn't chased somebody back, and I think when I transitioned over to competing in martial arts, and it was like, right, this is for me because the buck stops with me. If it's my fault. If I don't perform well, it's my fault. I can't put the blame onto anybody else.
Going to fight again, Sheik?
I'm 49. If you can find another 49-year-old with bad elbows, bad knees, and a blind in one eye, I'm happy to have it.
Yes, let's do it.
I definitely do the. I was booked in for operation on April 11th to have my meniscus out and have my cartilage cleaned up in my knee. Because at the moment, I can still train. I've had this conversation a couple of years. So you could come to the gym. I mean, you can have a roll, and I'm not afraid of giving up position with my knee because there's no points involved. What I don't want to be doing at the moment is like entering a British Open and losing a fight against somebody who I know I could beat, but I've had to open up the guard because my knee is going to dislocate if I don't. Not that they won that position. So once the knee was going to be operated on, I had all the visions of doing the Masters at the end of this year, doing the British Open at the end of this year. But once this lockdown is over, I'm guessing, because I was a week away from my operation when they cancelled everything. So I'm guessing I'm going to be the first one on the list now when the lockdown is over. But definitely, my aim is now, it was for this year, but my aim is for 2021, it'll be now, is to get at least 5 or 6 competitions and do whatever. The boys think I'm mad. They say, I'm nearly 50, you don't need to be. But I enjoy it, Lou, and I do. I enjoy that competitive edge.
But that's it, isn't it? You don't need to, but you want to.
Yeah.
It shows your real aim, doesn't it? Is you want to, So, I'm mad. I can do Masters now. I'm 31. I can do Masters.
Now I feel old. I feel old now.
Sorry, mate. I'm me.
Right. Let's go back then. So you've done your judo. You've done your kickboxing. What was your first introduction to MMA then? Where did you see it, and where did you hear about it?
This is quite funny, right? I went to Crystal Palace. I entered a kickboxing tour. It was like a European thing. I entered a kickboxing European tournament, like semi-continuous. But they also had an MMA section, so you could enter. It was like pretty much as like grapple and strike rules.
Yeah, no headshot type of competition.
Yeah. So I thought I'd done judo, I'd done kickboxing. Let's give it a go. First match, guillotine someone, and then second match, it was one of Dave O'Donnelly's boys. Like I never knew who he was then. Just I was speaking to him then, asking, can I borrow your gloves?
Dave O'Donnell, the Cage Rage promoter.
Yeah.
He
was there. I didn't put the dots together, obviously, until I sort of knew what MMA was later on. And then I fought one of his guys, and I lost. I can't remember what happened. I think I just tried to lay and pray him eventually, but yeah. So that's my first sort of introduction into it, and it was awesome. So but I started training down with.
Sorry, Lou. How old was you at that point?
About 16, 17 maybe.
Yeah.
So I still had long hair, see. So yeah, it's all going in it now. You're too right. Yeah, and I started training Muay Thai on a Friday night with Lee Power. So I was doing like judo one night, kickboxing one night, and then Friday with Lee. And from there, it was in a boxing gym. You know, like Darren Wilson.
Yeah.
It was Darren Wilson's gym, Fight Academy Wales, and that's where I met Ricky Wright and Denzel Thomas. So they're like, "Oh, come train with us tomorrow if you want." So then the first time sparring properly MMA, Denzel and Ricky, and I was eye opener. So then just a week later, then after meeting them, I went up to a show with them up in Nottingham, End of the Rough House.
Yeah.
And I was up there with Denzel. Ended up cornering someone, a big guy called Lola. He's like, oh, and I was backstage there with people like Paul Daly, Wallet, all. I'm like, no idea who they are.
Who they are at the time, yeah.
Just that they could probably kill me, you know. Yeah. And, so I just started training with Denzel and Ricky, and then like, I called Ricky. He said, "Oh, do you want to fight?" Yeah, when? He goes, 2 weeks. Yeah, go on, let's give it a go, innit? And on one of Swampo's legendary shows, you know.
Was that as like the old semi-pro rule, or was that straight in a pro?
No, that was old semi-pro. Yeah. So
what was Swampo's shows called? We was having this conversation the other day with somebody. I couldn't remember what they were called.
AFL.
AFL, that's it. Yeah, Amateur Fight League.
My first fight was long versus shorter. I fought a guy called Neil Shorter. You couldn't make it up, could you? But yeah, no, one that even like I think I had mount, guillotined him. I rolled over onto my back to finish the guillotine, like, you know. But
how many semi-pro bouts did you have, Lil?
5.
And then you had your first pro fight, yeah?
Yeah.
What was your record at semi? In France, believe it or not, in some of the countries in Europe, your semi-pro is classed as pro, so that would go on your Sherdog record. If you'd had those in France, that would have been added to your current pro record. Yeah, because they treat it because of the 4-ounce gloves and the fact you could strike to the head.
Yeah, no, 5-1 it was.
5-1.
I lost my last one and then to pro. So
yeah. Who do you lose to, Lou?
Scott Clist.
Scott Clist.
Yeah.
Was that on AFL as well on Swambos?
No, that was in a random show in Splot Market. I remember that.
That was Swambos, wasn't it?
No, I think it was Craig. It might be Swampo as well. Craig. What?
Did Marshman fight on the same card?
I got no, because it only ended up being like 4 fights because everyone pulled out.
Yeah.
And I just like random go left waiting outside in the cold for like half hour before I fought.
Yeah.
But so green behind the ears with my jiu-jitsu there, because as you know there was no wrestling, there's no grappling back 10 years ago, isn't it? Yeah. Purple belt, like, oh my god, there's a god in the gym, right? Yeah. You know, yeah, go put an arm bar. I just stood up, you know, like but yeah,
so all your semi-pro fights you've done training with Denzel, yeah?
Yeah.
So no, did you have a coach at that time? Was it just you boys mixing it up with each other and doing your own thing?
Just mixing it up, really. Yeah. Denzel definitely taught me what the definition of tough and fit is.
Yeah.
You know,
he was always
like.
Denzel was one of them characters where he would beat somebody with a better skill set just off mindset and fitness. Yeah. You know, he could go and go. You know, you'd see him in some really bad positions over the years. I remember watching him, and he'd always, 9 times out of 10 he'd come out on top, didn't he?
Yeah, I cornered him for quite a few fights, and like one I think it was Glenn Minter up in Glasgow, and he's in a triangle and he knocked him out.
Yeah, I remember that.
I mean, like that type of thing, you know. It's just.
Yeah, him and Kev Reed.
Yeah.
People forget what they done for the area as well in Wales with regards to putting Wales on the map with MMA. You know, Jenkins was out there at the forefront, but then boys were, they were right on Jenkins's heels with them competing at pro.
Oh, that's one of the first show I ever went to see. I went to see Jenkins' Century Bout.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to see that because I used to go drinking. I was underage, obviously at the time, but at the Welsh club where he used to work.
Yeah.
So I was just to chat to him and stuff. I went to see him there for his 100th fight. Like, well, what a legend, Jenkins.
Yeah, he is.
I know he said a few good, a few nice things about me. So
yeah, he's a good guy, Paul. You see somebody. you know, you can't have anything but respect. He's been there, seen it, done it, haven't he? You know,
yeah,
and,
100%.
You know, and I say this to everybody, his internet persona, when you meet him in, because you expect to meet a lunatic, and you couldn't meet a nicer boy when you meet him in. You know, I remember years ago on the old Cage War, he's 40, I'm thinking, boy, he seems a lunatic, Jenkins, isn't he? But then when you get to meet him, he's a really good guy. He's somebody with a lot of time for football.
I mean, the stuff he used to post up on them.
Oh, yeah. Anybody know of any gloves to say, yeah, click this link, you get 20%. You was afraid that any link he sent on that.
No, you don't want to do that, like.
Right, so did you say then, so you started looking for a bit of jiu-jitsu. What was your first taste of jiu-jitsu, and who was it with?
Done a bit with Chris Reese.
Yeah.
So me and Wayne Samways used to travel down to Swansea then, once a week on a Sunday morning, just to train with somebody. Was this
before you turned pro, Lil, or was it?
I'm not sure. Yeah, it wasn't around about that time.
Yeah.
But still, like even when I was doing the groundwork, it was just so like new. I couldn't really get it into my head. I just thought like grab, pin, hold.
Yeah.
That the movements were just so like foreign and alien that even though I was watching them, I couldn't do them or anything.
Yeah.
Strange, but no, I had a few fights then, and I went and trained with Mike Edwards.
Yeah, Mike, good guy. I've had Mike on the party. You probably.
Yeah. I mean, and I think I had 3 pro fights before I realised or knew what a single leg takedown was.
Yeah.
You know, no, Mike. I got ultimate respect for Mike. He really showed me what it means to be like an MMA fighter, being all rounded. You know,
everyone I've spoken to that have had interaction with Mike as a coach, everyone, I've never had one person say, "Oh no." Everybody's, raves about how good of a coach he is. And I've had this conversation with him on the podcast and said, do you think you're going to get back into it? And he was, what I love about him, he was very, very honest and said, I can't commit to being a coach because of my mental health issues.
Yeah.
For a week, I might go 3-4 weeks. I might be great. I'll be there every day.
Yeah.
But then I'll have a week where I can't be bothered and I won't turn up. And he said, that's not fair on any fighter. And I thought I was a really honest, thought and a choice of words off him, because a lot of people are not honest with themselves in that respect. But, hats off him. He's a good guy.
Can't fault him, mate. As through him there, I met quite a few other people. I met John. I remember one of the first times wrestling with John, he came out. I got a sec here. Shoot straight away. Like, we're just wrestling with me, John.
No, you wouldn't want it. You wouldn't want him swinging. Another one. John from the old school that started off similar sort of time as you, and is now at the ISL. So it's great to see the lads that were grassroots back in the day, like yourself, like Sir Phillips, like Sir Marshman, Brett, Jack, all fighting at the top tier now. I think it's brilliant. Let's strip it back to your first fight at pro.
Yeah. So
who was that with? And
I had a guy called Ken Jacobs up in Winter, up in where's he? Just up from Bristol.
Western, is it? Winter Gardens in Western, yeah?
Yeah, and just 1 or 2 kicks and punches, grabbed hold of him, headlock takedown, old school like armbar, judo armbar, you push it over the knee.
Yeah.
That was that.
Your record on Sherdog is 17-6. Is there any fights missing off there, off shows you fought on that haven't recorded it?
No, I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so, but it's like you look back and you think it's all a bit hazy, really.
Yeah.
But no, all through that time, like when I started Thai boxing, I went, I had a few A-class Thai fights, won like a British and Welsh title. I even fought James Wallace years ago. Before, he had kickboxing match, like low kick rules, like. So another favourite is.
Wally's another one, been around a long, long time, and again, doesn't always get the credit he deserves, I think, on the circuit. He, runs a really good show as well. He's one of them.
And fights on it.
Pardon?
He
headlined it as well.
On the show.
Listen, I know how stressful it is to run a show, right? And I just hats off to him. He must have a good team around him that he can shut off and do that, because my stress is through the roof, like on a fight. And I can't wait for it to be over, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, but...
So you've had your fight there. when did you think to yourself, this is something I'm going to do as a living? I'm just going to, because were you working in the early days, Leo, when you first started fighting?
Yeah, I worked the doors for about 10 years just so we could fit in around training. I was in uni as well. I was studying like forensics, as well as trying to be a pro fighter. So I was doing a hell of a lot. 4 nights on the week on the door, nearly every day in uni, every night in training. So something I had to give really, and I thought about it, and I thought, well, it's definitely going to be uni then. got to be sensible about these things. So
you can always go back to uni. You can't go back. Listen, I say to everybody, you can always go back to university if you've got real aspirations of being a pro fighter. Grab it with both hands while you can while you're young, because time stands still for nobody. Next, you're my age. Looking back, if I want to go back to university now, I can, but I can't go back to fighting. So while you're young and while you're fit, I think you've made the right choice here, because it's a short career as well, isn't it? You could break your leg tomorrow and not be able to fight again. So
100%. No, it was never like a flip of the coin. I wanted to be a pro or anything like that. I was just enjoying where it was taking me. I just always done martial arts since a young age, and I remember thinking, I can earn some money through this.
Yeah.
And obviously it's never been much until later in life, but I just thought, what an amazing thing that is. I don't fight for money. And it just, I never really thought of it like as professional or anything like that. I just enjoyed it. And only to when later on you start thinking more about it. But when you're young like that, you just fucking
and I think your approach, Lou, where you do it because you enjoy it. So your first pro fight when I looked was in 2011. We're 9 years down the line. And you've still got that same enthusiasm. That's still got that excitement for the fight. You probably enjoy fighting on Bellator just as much as you enjoyed fighting on like an AFL bout back in the day, because you're that type of guy. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, 100%, man. It's just it's like if people say, "Oh, it don't matter where the fight is, we're doing in the car park, whatever." I know it's not like a really professional thing to say, but it's just that enjoyment of testing your skills.
Yeah.
Just fun. I know obviously it's a dangerous thing, but that's why it's fun.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
so, you fought first pro fight 2011. You fought on a lot of big events. You've been on plenty of Cage Warriors ones that I've shared.
Yeah.
Shared the same size with. What titles have you won? I remember you won the Pain Pit title, the European Pain Pit title on one of my cards before we became Cage Warriors.
Yeah.
That was against Lee Kears. Now, that was a really good fight as well. That was main event on my show, wasn't it? And I think a lot of people, maybe I'm wrong, but I felt like after that fight, because Lee had a really good reputation at the time.
Yeah.
And you stopped him second round, I think, Lee, wasn't it?
No, first round, second round. 2 to go.
Yeah, I remember thinking, do you know what? You're in with a shout here of doing big things, and you've gone on to fight on Bella. What shows have you fought on? You fought on Pain Pit, you fought on Cage Warriors. Did you ever fight on Bama?
Interesting story.
Come on.
I was meant to fight on Bama, and you might remember this, against Ian Entwistle.
I remember that. Yeah, let's tell the people. I remember this.
Well, Ian Entwistle is a chopsy little twat. Sorry for swearing. I've been trying not to, but he really is. And all the time, just goading people on the internet. But he, what he does, he just goes for ankles, and he just hunts ankles down. Yeah. And in fairness, like back a few years ago, what were ankle locks? Like no one really did. And he had quite a bit of success, but he mouthed me. And this is back when I was fighting a lightweight, so I had to cut 18 pound to I was that clued up on it back then. So I cut 18 pound in water, got up there, got in the sauna. He was in the sauna as well. He got out, and I looked at him, said, "Hey, I ain't gonna struggle with you." He tantrumed off, and I was just annoying him then, winding him up. Next day for breakfast, I made weight. I started getting pains in my chest. I was like, I'm having a heart attack here. I had brown bread, something's gone wrong. So we called an ambulance, ended up having the ECGs and everything. It turns out I had pleurisy, so I was in hospital till 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
got to the fight, got to the show, and the you have a gay medic, then you have a queue of fighters behind you because there's always a queue in it. But sat down the medic and starts checking out. He looks at me, have you been to hospital? Like leaned in and yeah, mate, keep it quiet. He said, what? I said, why you been there? He said, it's just pussy, mate. I've had some anti-inflammatories. I'm fine, honestly. Because I can tell, because you still got all the circles where they rip it. There's all patchy, like.
All the patches where they stick them on, yeah.
Yeah, no, he passed me, and early that morning, why did I whistle up a breakfast there? I say, come sit here, man, come on. And he didn't see him again. Didn't turn up the fight.
Didn't you? I'm sure when Marsh went on the same card, we were there for that.
Yeah. Because after when he triangled the boy, didn't he? The boy put his
punching. I thought it was as well. I remember it now. Yeah, I remember.
Fuck, it looked like you paid him, mate. I remember. He put his hand back. Put his hand back again. Like, oh, cheers, thank you.
I had a big ding dong. I to be honest, I had a tantrum on the Cage Warriors forum, and I said, I'm not posting on it again because somebody put on there. Definitely a fixed fight this morning for on it. Listen now, anyone here knows me and knows Marshman. That was not a fixed fight, No. And Puncham was on a good run at the time. He'd had a good
and he
was a good grappler. Triangle it, wasn't he? Triangled him.
Yeah. I think what he was trying to do was like dummy that, go back for the ankle, throw a right hand over the top or something, But
and then
obviously just it's a big trade off now, isn't it?
Well, I enjoyed the BAMMA at the time. It was all glitz and glamour, wasn't it? They invested a lot of money.
Yeah.
But then
all over British TV, wasn't it?
It was on Bravo for a bit, wasn't it? Remember Bravo Channel on Sky? Yeah. And, they used to pay well. But then it started towards the end. There were so many fighters coming out and going, I am being paid. I remember Tom Watson saying he hadn't been paid. And there was quite a few people that I know were chasing money for quite a few months. But then obviously they've amalgamated with Bellator, so it's no more BAMMA and it's Bellator. So quite a few fights on Cage Warriors you had, and then obviously Bellator have come calling. Yeah. How did that come about? Did you approach them and say, "Look, I'm looking to fight," or did Jude's the matchmaker? Did he contact you?
I think. I always try and be on good terms with everyone. There's some people I'm not, but but and I saw he got a new position or something, so I just texted him saying congratulations on the new job. A couple of weeks later, he phoned me. He said, "How would you fancy?" It's made up for it. Like my contract was coming to an end with Intensity and Cage Warriors, and there wasn't much there for me at the time. So took out both hands really, because I was like thinking I could settle down with a gym that done my sports massage course, done my yoga teaching training. Thought focus in on the gym now, and just build it up with all different aspects, and then I had that opportunity and thought really give me a nice kick up the ass, reinvigorated me. Thought come on. You're not done yet, boy.
No, and I say to everybody, for me, they're the only organisation out there that are competing with UFC, with regard to the branding, watching it worldwide. I mean, how did that feel for you? That must be, big moment for you in your career. And think, do you know what? I've fought on some big shows, but Bellator, you would argue, is, along with UFC, the two biggest shows in the world.
I don't know. I don't really have a lot of grandeur about me, I just thought, great. I was obviously massive, so thankful that I had the opportunity into Jude and Bellator, to help me continue doing what I love doing and getting some good money for it and etc.
And I can say financially they pay you well as well, so it sorts you out as well. A couple of fights, doesn't it, as well? Sets you up.
It's like a raising tide raises all boats. So. Especially with the gym, get more contacts. Wales, like your boy Jack as well. He's elevating everything, and it's amazing to see in it how much you think I had pro fights and I didn't know what a single leg was. And now you got pros that are
look at the amateur scene, Lou. You've got a fantastic stable of amateurs. I have. The amateurs of today would beat the pros of yesteryear, hands down. I mean, I got some 18, 19-year-old kids in. I think if I could pick them up and take them back to 2011, 2012, they would clean up the pro division in that way.
Absolutely. Smash it. I mean, it's silly to think. And, like, you know, like say, it's just happening. You got like 15, 16, 17-year-old kids, and they're fierce, you know, and they want to learn, and they're learning correctly, and you're like,
do you think, as a coach, because this is my take on it, when we get in them now as youngsters, they're not like adults coming to us who maybe have a background in judo or background in taekwondo, and they bring certain bad habits for MMA with them. Yeah. At the moment, we're taking them and I'm popping them into a jiu-jitsu class on a Monday, a Thai class on a Tuesday, a wrestling class on a Thursday, an MMA class, and I just think they are now, I think what we were, you know, me, I'm older than you, but I think we were martial artists fighting in MMA, whereas now they're MMA fighters fighting in MMA. Yeah. Because it's become an art in itself. And I think that's down to the, as you just said, the level of coaching and the level of gyms around in Wales now is, well, Christ. You know, you imagine if we could have picked up the Matt Academy and Show MMA and took it back to 2010, the facilities, the coach, we'd have been, God, look at this. We'd have thought we were on a different planet, wouldn't we?
This is quite funny, right? I remember this quite well. Like, back when I was kickboxing, I've always wanted to be a coach. See? I remember like having my mate over my house. I'd be holding the pillow. Yeah. Kick like this, kick like that, you know. And now to think, you know, 20 odd years on, or more than that, or something like that, if I went back and spoke to him and told, it made up, like, well done, good on you, son. You know, it's good to remind yourself of that every now and again. But like, think about this now, innit? It's me and you now, black belts.
Yeah.
You know, 5-6 years ago, they
would have distant. Well, it was something in your mind. They were make believe, weren't they? Black belts. Do they really exist? I've seen them on television and online.
No, I know. I remember when Rob got promoted to his. He said, "Dad, I fancy rolling with a black belt tomorrow." Rung him. Who's coming down? Who's it? He's like, me. No way you are there. You know. It's crazy. I still think it's. You say like kids now are being taught at that level. It's like you'll agree with this, right? I don't believe a lot of fighters need to go away to become amazing. But if you got coaches back home that you got faith in, then you got it, haven't you? I mean, going away and training is great. Because you'll learn some new things, you'll train, you meet friends, and have the experience of what it should be. But you're not going to get better attention, better training partners, other than the people. You can't go to a different gym and go hard. Or they go hard on you. You got such close respect for your training partners or fighters that you can go hard and go whoa. All right, oh shit,
Yeah.
Whereas you don't get, you're not going to get that.
And you've also got a coach on it. I've funny enough, regular, I will go, whoa, boys, bring it down a notch. You're starting to raise, the power's going up. Let's bring it back down to 50, 60%. Whereas if you're traveling to a different gym, a lot of the times, as you said, the ego goes in, the coaches won't jump in and go, oh no, don't let this visitor put a beat on. And I say to everybody, my saying is this: we fight as individuals, but we prepare as a team. And it's key that you've got faith in that team. Now, I know full well I've got a big team like yourself where I know that if Brett and Jack and Josh Reed and Chris Edwards, I put them into a group of 4, I know full well there's nobody going to take a liberty there or try and be the big man and try and put a heel hook on hard or try and knock somebody out with a left hook. They're going to look after each other. I also know that, say, for example, if Jack has got Chris Edwards in a heel hook and Chris is a little bit frantic, he'll let it go rather than pop his knee out. Yeah. Are you going to get that when you're an alien or a visitor in another gym? You're not. And I think for you to really grow as a fighter, you've got to have a lot of trust in your training partners, because if you haven't, you're not going to get any better. You're not going to try new things. You're not going to put your leg in a position where they might roll back on a heel hook just to see if you can get out without the panic of them snapping your knee. And I think that's what you've touched on there. I'm a great believer. I really believe now that there's enough gyms in Wales that you don't need to be going abroad to get that quality transferring, And as you said, you're not going to get the attention to detail. You're not going to get the sort of attention off the coaches out there. There's a lot of big gyms everywhere, you know, and there's nothing wrong, as you said, for going out there and having 4 weeks just for the experience, you know. We're looking possibly next year about Jack going to AKA for a month.
Yeah.
It's more for an experience thing, and look, I might even go out there for a little bit and just pick
connections, bit of holding, you know,
the coaches. But no, I'm a great believer now. Wales is in such a position where I think we're that strong technically and with the level of fighters coming through, that we can do it on our own doorstep and compete now. And we've proved that. You've proved it. You've got wins in Bellator's. Marshman, Brett, Jack Shaw, John Phillips have all got wins on the UFC. You know, we've proved that we're capable.
And the thing is, it's like, I mean, look at Wales, like for boxing. Look how high level that is, and we got access to that. You know, the big man, G.
Yeah.
Gary, you know, we all work very closely with him. You know, you think if I was taught by him as a nipper, like a lot of people are now, you think it's scary, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, of course it is.
It's amazing.
Another one who I had on last week, Enzo Macronelli. I see Phillips put a post up that John had been down there doing a bit of training with him. Like, you can't get better. You can't get better than Gally Lockett or Enzo, because, you know, they're high-level coaches. They were elite-level fighters, and they've been doing this since they were in napkins, you know. So
did he tell you he had a grappling match?
Pardon?
Did Enzo tell you he had a grappling match?
Yeah. We went into that in great detail.
The boy goes, don't hit me now, do you? He jumped up and guillotined him.
Talking of which, mind, he said he's been offered a contract by Bellator.
Enzo?
Yeah. And what he said to them was, and I to be honest, I think it's a good shout, he'd want somebody like Wanderlei Silva, somebody that's aging like him, same sort of age, late 30, who's going to come and strike. And he said, if I get knocked out, I get knocked out. He said, it's no good me going in there, he said, against elite level wrestler, because they're going to, you know, unless I catch him clean on the way, and they're going to take me down. And I've experienced jiu-jitsu for quite a while, and I know, I'm under no illusions that if it's a floor, it's going to be game over. He said, but I think someone like Wanderlei would come, plant his feet. I'm not looking for the leg kicks, he said, but I'm happy to throw some punches in four squares. It'd be interesting if they matched him with the right person. I'll have a bit of interest in that, see how he does.
You know yourself, like, you know, it's like someone going from jiu-jitsu from 10 years into boxing, and vice versa. You can't do it. You can. You can. There's obviously a few instances there are, but you know, once they've been taught through kids, adults, you know, that's you know, you ain't gonna sort of get a better boxers than sort of Enzo, you know, coming from a grappling background.
No.
But what a crap match it'd be if someone just come out and shot
Randy Couture, James Toney-esque, wouldn't they? You know.
I know what I would do.
Yeah, you would, you know. Of course you would. But no, like you said, we can touch into all these places and you know, have fantastic coaching at a really, really good level. You know, like you said, you got black belts in judo, you got black belts in jiu-jitsu, you got high level Thai boxers you can pick the brains of, you got high level boxers, and I think it's all like we are so blessed as well. You know, like yourself, you as a Jim the Mat, you've got access to all the, you know, the different factors of MMA all under one roof now. Just before I touch on you as a coach, what's your coaching setup for you as a fighter at the moment then? So, you know, obviously Gary's doing your boxing.
Yeah.
Tell people a little bit who you're doing, like your Thai boxing with. Do you have anybody? And I like, because Jenkins had a go to about this. You know, a little bit of direction. Have you got anybody that you go, that's my coach, or be honest, or is it like you've just built a team around you to help you suit the needs ready for a fight? I
sort of built the gym initially because I was always waiting for people. I was going around, and I was always Tim Newman. Yeah, Tim Newman. I remember waiting for hours for you all the time. Always fucking late. No time.
Hey, you wait days for the text back.
Never on time, Tim was. But I thought if I sort of set up my own place, I could sort of like, you know, bring in coaches, and then class or two could pay for them.
Yeah.
So I sort of brought in coaches that could help me. I'd train with them, then they do a class. So that's the way I sort of set it up. So yeah, I just continue to bring in coaches. So the team is like, I don't really do a lot of teaching. I sort of head up the pro team and we do all stuff together.
Yeah.
But at the minute, like Wayne deals with the majority of the like public side of it. But no, I got obviously Gary in doing my boxing work. Joey and Jimpy do teaching Thai. But we got like Charlie Jr. coming down now, and Luke Barr just come back from Thailand. He's been out there for 5 years. fighting and elbowing people. Jiu-jitsu, we've had Rob Taylor in for years. We've got Wayne, stuff like that now.
And, Rob in particular has proven his savvy at the highest level. He's won British titles from blue belt, purple, brown, black. A lot of time for Rob. And again, one of the old school guys that was doing it back, 2002, 2003, wasn't he? So he's been around a long time.
He's savage, pulls guard, but no one's perfect, are they? But, he, on his back, he put his guard. I remember seeing the British years ago just going, shit.
Yeah.
Just absolutely annihilated someone straight away. So we got a good stable of grappling. I was lucky enough to become friends with a legendary bloke. I love him. He's Arash. I don't know if you have much Arash.
Yeah, brilliant wrestler.
I still can't pronounce his second name, so I hope he watches this. We had an argument about it yesterday. Sujil.
Don't ask me. I'm from the valley, same as you, but I can't pronounce it.
But he was teaching the Welsh squad, and they sort of didn't give him anything, and he sort of was. He never wanted money for teaching, but he always wanted to teach and train. Paid him obviously, but he's always been so dedicated towards the sport of wrestling, which you don't find often.
Yeah,
because it's a fucking tough sport.
It's a tough sport.
Yeah, and you're either 100% in it or you're not. And he taught me so much about wrestling and stuff like that. As you see now, in nearly all my fights, but to got my hands on someone, I don't struggle to take them down.
Yeah,
and it's just hugely down to him. So
you've built up a really good MMA team around you. So sparring as well, like you said, you don't need to travel. You've got it all under the roof, on your doorstep. So how do you balance the fighter against the coach? As you said, is it Wayne takes care of most of the classes and you just look after the fight team mainly?
Yeah, that's pretty much the way it works. Like I said, we've got coaches for individual disciplines. Day in and out. A lot of them. Mixed train, they train in the gym anyway, so he jumps in grappling sessions, and Joey does a bit of that, because they want to learn and they want to be better coaches as well, so they try and get a better understanding of everything. So that's
so refreshing. That's so refreshing. Yeah, sorry, cut across what you said there about the Thai coaches jumping in with the grappling, because it's key to those little details of changing things up a little bit with regard to a traditional Thai box. Our coach Kruheen does some gi classes as well.
That's good.
Because he says as well, it's important for him to understand, I don't want to teach you to throw a certain kick that's going to lead you landing in a bad position. So it just gives him a better understanding. He'll come and watch a wrestling session. So it's good that the coaches are open-minded and studying the other disciplines, so when they put that Thai into practice, or the pure jiu-jitsu into practice, it becomes based around MMA, not just pure jiu-jitsu, pure Thai. And that's great for me to hear that, is it, your guys?
You've got a team of coaches, to talk together, speak together, and that's where it has to be, especially when you're working with fighters. Obviously, I'm quite hard to deal with, as
Jenkins said. I can testify to that.
But I've always been my own worst enemy, as Jenkins said. But no, and then with the team, we have sparring sessions. Obviously, someone's got a fight, we look at different areas for them. We just play. We're not play by ear, but we mix it up. Some like a Wednesday night we spar, but I don't go into that session. I stay on it, and I stay out as a coach. So I don't it's like if I jumped on the mat and play around a bit, I'll lose sight of what I'm doing.
Of course, you're not watching mistakes of the others and all that.
So
what's a week's training? What's your timetable at the mat from a Monday to a Friday?
What's my training or the?
No, yours as a team. What's just for people in the areas?
Monday we got jiu-jitsu. We got wrestling, jiu-jitsu. Tuesday is Thai. We got jiu-jitsu then Thai. Sparring then Thai. Sorry. Wednesday, MMA, beginners MMA, followed by some bit of submission wrestling. Thursdays, full jiu-jitsu night. Friday's good because we've got Charlie comes in, teaches. I do a kids MMA class, but they're that sort of age, 10, 11, 12, and then there's a beginners Thai boxing class, with some stay on for that then as well, and then it goes into MMA which Wayne takes, and then.
So is Charlie teaching Ty at your place now as well? Then.
Yeah. Because I as much as I love teaching, I also prefer to learn.
Yeah. Of course.
You know.
And again, touching on elite level guys, Charlie's fought at the highest level.
Yeah.
You know, and again, another guy from Cardiff on our doorstep that we can tap. He came up just before the London card, before it got cancelled, and done a few rounds with Marshman, and Marshman took loads from it.
Yeah, Charlie's really good. I mean, I love and hate sparring with him. You know. He's so tough and just so fluid and relaxed. I see a shot. I see a shot come in, and I go, "He should have moved there." you know he's coming, but he still hits you with it. Like, you know, he's got a lovely little right hand that just hits you from anywhere. You know, he's a fucking funny bloke as well. He's great to have in the gym. Like,
him and Regan come up, and Regan's another one people forget about that was fighting regular back in the day. You know, down in the old Brotherhood, gym, with Matt and Henry down there.
Lordy,
so with your team coming through. Who should we be keeping an eye out of? Who do you think is going to be the next one going to follow in your footsteps and fight at a very high level?
I mean, Ben is incredibly. Ben Ellis is incredibly disciplined, and he's
how old is Ben, Lou? If you don't mind me asking.
I'm not allowed to tell you.
Go on.
Yeah, I think he's 24.
Yeah, I thought he was around that age. He's one when I ever do an interview and they say to me who's coming through on the Welsh scene. Ben is one of the first ones out of my mouth, you know, and he's nothing to do with me as a coach, but he's somebody that I think has got that style as well to go as far as he wants. You know, he's very, very strong mentally as well. He comes across.
Yeah. I mean, he does everything almost seamlessly. You know, with interviews, you know, all of that, media, just talking. He does, you know, face fit, talks well, educated lad. You know, he does my fucking head in, if I'm honest, but he was always in the gym, always asking questions. You couldn't want a better student, you know. Yeah. As I say, he does my head in, but he's always there. You know, he wants to learn. He's keen, hungry for it all the time.
Yeah.
And as far as that's concerned, he's as an athlete goes. I mean, you won't get a better one because he's by the book. You know, he works with like Alex. Mason works with him and stuff for diet and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't have to worry about him at all. And you know, like at a fight, you know, you got fighters and you're like shit, where is he? He's disappeared. Right, someone go find him. Right, you know, and it could be struggling with nerves or God knows where they go. It could be at the bar. Fuck knows. Yeah. You know what people are like.
Yeah.
And you know, like always, Ben, don't worry about him. He's fine. You know, he knows what he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's got to do. He's on it like.
And this would have been a big year for him, and I think this virus has just hammered all of us, isn't it? You know, Ben would have probably been looking for 3-4 fights this year through the Cage Warriors band. I had the same with Oban. You know, my Oban's 3-0, and our plan, I'd set the year out that he's to get to 7-0 by the end of the year, so he's pushing in 2021. But he's just put everybody back 12 months, haven't it?
No, 100%. It's great to see old friends of mine, because like Brett. You know, I used to share the judo mat with him years ago, you know, and it's great to see. And like Scotty up with you used to
two of them are up with us full time now.
Yeah, it's good to see them, you know, in a place where they can actually learn and grow as fighters and MMA fighters. You know, they can really excel now with you as a coach.
With Brett and Jack, they're just going to push each other to another level as well, because both boys will tell you it's the first time that Jack is being took down on a regular basis, and Brett will tell us the first time he's being took down on a regular basis. And you cannot put a pin between them. And they get on well, which is a brilliant thing as well when you're teammates. You know, they're very, very good friends. And like our Jack, you know, Brett's a bit older, been on the scene a lot longer. Now Jack has got a real respect for him as well, and will pick Brett's brains. And it's great. It's great for him. And, you know, Scotty P's another one, you know. I've known Scott on the circuit a long time. But to actually watch him training, he's a really disciplined lad, as you said with Ben.
He is, mate.
And I think, I think we'll see him now as a pro a lot better than what he was as an amateur. I think you'll see a lot more refinement.
I completely agree, mate. I mean, he what is he? Something like he's had about 20, 30 amateur fights. You know, I mean, he could probably do with this break. You know, now
Yeah.
I come back now as a pro. I don't know what your plan is for him.
Yeah, he's back to start as pro now.
Yeah, 100%. Come back as pro, and he's someone I've always thought this. He's got a good future above him. Yeah.
What about kids?
Especially now.
Yeah. What about kids? What about kids at your gym? Any youngsters? Very youngsters?
Yeah, I got 2 kids. Not kids, man. You got Deacon Thomas and Talon Jones. Deacon will be 18 when he comes back. So it'd be nice to see him because he went to the World IMAFs, but he just found it so strange not being able to throw headshots.
Yeah.
As a cadet.
So the unified amateur is going to suit him much better. Yeah, the rule set.
Yeah. I mean, he's done the club up with you not so long ago, and just seems to just effortlessly listen, find the holes where he needs to be, and just keep that mental strength when things are going bad. Just to keep working, keep finding where he's going, and he could be really good. Could be really good. We got Talon Jones. Just look at it. My back. Yeah. We got Talon Jones as well. He's 16, I think. You could wreck adults. Like we say, those kids that have just been taught from the word go. He was in earlier. I give him a distance 1-to-1, but I give him like a conditioning circuit. And it was like this. Minute on the rower, 300 meters, then slamming bag shots, kettlebell throws. For a minute, I finished then with like a 300-meter row again. 5 rounds, minute break. He's obviously absolutely ruined.
Yeah.
But I mean, what kind of work is that? Like, what kind of engine, what kind of strength is he going to be? It's you think.
And was he 16? He's 16.
16, like, and I'm horrible to him, obviously, because he's good. But
got to keep him grounded, Lou. A lot of people say you bully him, youngster. Shakes a nice character building.
Yeah.
I'm creating monsters as well-rounded men, So I've got to get the balance right. With the youngsters as well, it was like in your gym. I say to everybody, like when you was a young lad, 18 then, and you started your MMA career, there's you, Denzel, and Ricky Wright training in sports halls, and whereas now, like these kids will walk on our mat. Like I got a young lad there, and I hate bringing him up all the time, because it makes his head swell. But he's 14 years of age, Johan Thomas. And I genuinely believe he's 14 now. I genuinely believe he's going to be in the UFC and be a star, right? That's how. But he's 70k. He's a big lad for his age, but he does like every kid's class, but also every men's class. Yeah. And the men treat him like a man because he's that competitive and that good. What he lacks a little bit in man strength is technique and his wrestling. You watch him wrestle on a Thursday with some of my Cage Warriors boys, and it's a 50-50. Yeah. 50-50 wrestle at 4. Now. He says to me, man, he goes like, I stand here sometimes and I'm a bit starstruck. I got 3 guys from the UFC over there. I got 6 guys over there that contracted the Cage Warrior. You boys never had that. You were learning as you went. Now, these boys are on the mat, and if they need to pick Jack Shaw's brains or Jack Marsham's brains or Brett Johns' brains or Oban Elliott, who's on the way up, what must it be like for these youngsters to be in that position? Now, it's outstanding for them.
But again, headed by you, Sheikh. Who's fought yourself, been in the game of martial arts for years, understand the business of Cage Warriors, Bellator, UFC. You know what the game's about. A lot of fighters didn't back then. You know who you're speaking to, what to ask for. Yeah. What to read in contract. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I agree.
It's easy to sell a dream to kids, and they can sign anything away. But of course, as much as you could be starstruck, you got to hold homage to you, haven't they?
I appreciate that.
Yeah, all right, mate. No worries.
I sort of feel Bob out when I see you for being nice for a team.
I know what he's doing.
Let's touch on a couple of things. Some of the questions I always. What has been your most favourite fight? Out of all the fights you've had, what's your most, not necessarily one you've won, or what was your favourite and what was your reasons for it? When
I moved back up to welterweight from lightweight, I made a decision because back then I was a massive lightweight but a small welterweight. So So I made a decision, like, I'm either going to lose my life at some point, cut into welterweight, lightweight, or potentially just having no career at welterweight. So I thought, well, I'll see how it goes at welterweight, and if I got no career, I got no career. So I went in with like shit all to lose, thought throw it all to the wind, and let's have a test up. Like I fought Steve Dinsdale on the night Marshman fought.
It was a great fight. You got rocked, didn't you? And
fucking rocked, yeah.
You had a bit of stanky leg at one point, didn't you?
Yeah, like I got dropped. I remember like he picked me up, slammed me with a body lock, picked me up, legs up in the air. I thought, hit my back. I thought, oh fuck, this is the way.
He was a big man as well, Lou, wasn't he? He's a big welter. He was like probably one of the bigger welterweights in the division as well, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought to myself, oh, this is the way it's going to be, is it? Oh, shit. It's good. Yeah, Joey, this is going to be a hard night in the office. And I got and then I started getting back control of it, slipping shots, rolling, feeling good. I just got tagged behind the ear.
That's right, I remember that, yeah.
My feet were going, everything, and just in my head, I probably think I was smiling at the time as well, just thinking, this is fucking awesome. Just absolutely fighting for your life, nothing to lose. And I mean, like the doctor come and saw me in between the round, and he's like checking my ankle. He's like, because he thought I went over my ankle.
Yeah, and that's how it did look, didn't it? I remember the commentator saying as well about it.
Yeah, no, I think you can still see on the video me laughing at the doctor going, it's my fucking chin. I'm all over the shop. But yeah, no, I just thought that, well, let's have a change of pace, just walked out, picked him up and took his back. But something I will say, I mean, how many rear naked choke finishes have I had? I think I've had like 10.
Yeah,
it's not like, I don't know, just you find your way to these positions.
I think as well with you've got that ability to, once you get that back, like when I watch you, and I'm always rooting for you to do well. And if I'm watching as your friend and as a spectator, as soon as you get that back, like Jack might be watching, go, it's over. It's over. Yeah. You're one of those guys. It's such a high percentage position for you that I know that when you get that back, and particularly if you lock that body triangle, it's game over. I don't see anybody in the world being able to defend that type of pressure off you from that position.
I got massive legs, got big legs, and if I lock my legs in a triangle, there's not much room.
No.
Yeah, and if I squeeze them, it's even less room. And I got big, strong legs, so it's not a position hamstring of death like it is.
Listen, I hate the body triangle. I've banned out Jack from doing it to me. I said, there's no body triangling over 40s in the gym now.
That's fair, mate. That's fair. It's cheating.
So, Dinsdale's your favourite fight. What was the toughest fight you've had?
I like one or two, like, as like Jenkins said, I've never had anyone looking over me. This is quite an interesting one, right? I had, it was when I think a lot with my career is I've been in the right place at the wrong times. So, Cage Warriors came back and I fought that Andreas Stahl.
Yeah.
When Jack fought.
He was the ex-UFC guy. He was, wasn't he?
Yeah, but what had happened was I had a cortisone injection in my groin to get rid of a bursitis overuse. Oh yes, but it introduced an infection. So like a week later, I just couldn't walk and do anything. I ended up with osteomyelitis, a bone infection.
Yeah.
So I ended up in hospital for 3 months. I had a pick line in my arm when I come out. Like, ask Lockett, I was boxing and I had a line into my main artery to put in antibiotics every day. And then I was like, but obviously I knew I shouldn't have fought, but I believed in my mind I could beat him. And I'm so proud of myself getting to the fight.
Getting in there.
Getting there, I was so fit. It was unbelievable. I always couldn't grapple too much because I had that line up my arm 3 weeks before. But I had that line up my arm 3 weeks before. I was like, yes, it's meant to be. It's meant to be.
Yeah.
And
do you think that's probably a situation, as you said, what Jack Jenkins touched on in his interview with me, that if you'd had a head coach, they would have took that decision out of your hands?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if that was one of my students, I'd be going, well,
you're not fighting.
I'd say, like, I'll ring Shaky now and tell him the fight's off. He's like, if he said, I'm still fighting, I just said, hey, Shaky won't let you fight,
Yeah.
That's that, But
and again, that's key as well. if I put my promoter's hat on, I won't deal with fighters. I'll have a conversation with them. Yeah. But say, for example, they'll ask me or something, they go, no, you get Luke to give me a call on that.
Yeah.
Or, you know, and I think that comes from me being a coach myself and wanting that little bit of respect off promotions. And the coach have got to be the boss. People say I can be a bit controlling on times, and I am. And I don't try and paint it up to be any other way. But in our gym, we got a fantastic team, but I'm the boss. And if I say this is what's happening, if it's not for you, it's not for you. You're in the wrong place. You need to find another team to go and train.
No, you know, I know what you mean.
And sometimes, yeah. So I think that's probably a good point. Is you've put yourself in that position because the fighter will always want to fight.
Always want to fight. Yeah.
Always want to fight. Yeah. You know, where sometimes as a coach you've got to go. This is for your benefit. It's going to be short-term disappointment for long-term gain.
Yeah, yeah. No, you know, it's like me telling fighters, like, sorry, mate, I can't put you in that risk. I can't put myself in jeopardy. You know, as well. You know, when you cancel people's fights and stuff, there's a lot of emotion. Like it's not like
it's hard bloody work, but it's a necessary evil in the game. You know, and I'll be honest. Today's game, it's a lot more professional, particularly, you know, with the Cage Warriors Wales setup. I know what coaches I can trust. Like, I know full well that if you ring me and go, Ben can't fight, Richie's had to pull out, I know he's genuine. I know it's no bullshit. Or, you know, if you've had somebody that's not put the work in, you're going to ring me through and say, listen, Rich, he's not been training, I'm pulling him. There's a respect level here between us. And I've got that with all the coaches now, you know, and makes my job easier. Yeah. Because I'd rather have them pull out 2 weeks before the fight than on the day, which back in the day was a regular occurrence. Wasn't it?
I always went.
But you've had it firsthand, haven't you? You know, so.
No, I mean, as a sport, I mean, you know, people are still so caught up in the cage fighting era of MMA that it has to be now really proper management, proper promotions. Yeah. None of these just. You know, silly things because it takes us all back steps, doesn't it? You know, we want to be a recognised sport, you know, and get everything that we deserve. Because you know, you don't see any athlete working as hard as an MMA athlete.
No, I agree.
And there's not. You've got to learn everything.
And it's not a more dangerous sport. It's not a more dangerous sport for them either, is it? So it's important. No. So, right. We spoke earlier about you know, the youngsters today, how privileged they are to have state-of-the-art gyms, to have top-level tiered training, but also excellent shows to perform on. You know, I say to her, you know, and I know I run Cage Warriors Wales, and I don't want to sound like I'm blowing my own trumpet, but, you know, it's run so well. The even academy shows, you know, it's a grassroots show with a big show feel. I always say that to everybody. It's run professionally. And I really believe the events like the Cage Warriors Academy, the Cage Warriors Wales come into the area, it gives these youngsters a really good apprenticeship now. So, you know, I use our Jack for an example all the time. By the time he signed for the UFC, he's used to fighting in front of big crowds. He's started off the first fight on the main card, to the middle fight on the main card, to main event on the main card, to selling out, fighting for a world title, having a world title cancelled at 24 hours notice, a change of opponent, dealing with all the media. The apprenticeship there now is fantastic. And I don't think, and you've seen it with Bellator, the step then into the big leagues, you're not starstruck. You've been there, seen it, done it. You've served your apprenticeship. It's like, for me, it's like playing Division 1 football for 2 years before you sign for the Premier League. You can't get that sort of experience, can you? You know, so
that's the way to look at it. I mean,
and they take it for granted, Lou. My youngster, I say to him, you should have fought on a Mike Swambo show or some of the events. You know,
you know the saying. Some of the workmen's you've been Swamboed. You're back right over.
There's not a fighter out there that haven't got a blooming story about one of them events, is it?
Yeah. Who's this guy? You're in the cage with him. Who's this guy?
I always use the Marshman against Matt McCarthy fight, and they done like a fighter's parade. It was in Splot Market. You had 2 gazebos with 4 mats in to warm up on, right? And I'm looking around and thinking, well, which one of these then is Marshman's opponent? And then they go like, Jack Marshman. So you put your arm up in the air, like, and the crowd give a little clap, and then they go, Matt McCarthy. And me and Marshman look at each other and went, there's no way he's 84 kilogram. Do you know what he done? It was the same day weigh-in, right? It was a semi-pro fight. Have you heard this story about this? No. Have I done it right? So Marshman is fighting Matt McCarthy, who later came on and joined me. So this is how I know the truth, right? So it's the same day weigh-in, 84 kilogram semi-pro rules. We turn up at the venue. There's no weigh-in scales. Mike goes, well, he looks 84, it's fine. I go, well, where's the scale? Oh, we've got rid of the scales now. I said, well, I got the scales in the car. So get the scales out. We get in the back of a Luton van. Marshman jumps on, 84.5 kilogram, job done. So I said, this McCarthy weighed, oh, he struggled, mate. Struggled. It was a tough cut, but he's made it. He was bang on the button, 84.5 kilogram, he said, but it was a big cut. Now I'm looking at this kid now on the day. He's 100 plus K, right? 100 plus, right? So as it is, Marshman beats Matt. A week later, Matt rings me and says, oh, about him, you remember Anthony Johnson? Me and Anthony Johnson come up and train. So Matt walks in the gym. I go, how on earth did you make 84.5 kilograms same day weigh-in? He says to me, I didn't. I done a day before weigh-in at Swambo's gym. It gets better. He said, but I weighed in at 92 on a day before weigh-in. I said, when he told me he weighed in on, he's lying, mate. He said, I went into his gym. He told me to meet me at the gym to do the weigh-in. There's nobody there. So he picks the phone up. Mike, I'm at your gym to do the weigh-in. Do me a favour, Matt. Just jump on the scales and let me know where you are. Swan was on the phone. He could have been anything. He said, I've jumped on. I've gone, oh, I'm 92. He said, oh, you're supposed to be 84. He goes, I can't cut no more. He goes, if they ask you, weighed in on the day, 84.5 kilograms. Now, you know, we laugh and joke about it, but it's such a dangerous game.
Wait, I fought Nick McCarthy. Nick McCarthy.
No, Nicky Kent. Wasn't it the big lad?
No. I thought so he's like he's a striking coach. Nick. Anyway, his opponent hadn't turned up. My opponent hadn't turned up. I was going, Nick, right? He goes, yeah, I'm fighting you. I said, no, you're not. I didn't know my opponent. He's like, yeah, I'm fighting you. I was like, I don't know. You know, he's a big bloke, 6'2". You know, I just cut my long hair off, like a little dumpy kid, like against this massive guy. Ricky and Ask went, yeah, Lou, don't fight him, mate. He's good. Fuck it, just get in there. You know, picked him out in the second round, but size difference. Like, there's no way you weigh 84K. Like,
no, a difference. And this is what I say about the kids today, the youngsters, the amateurs. They're so spoilt, you know, with the level of the shows, you know, how they're looked after, that to fight, you know, what would you have given to fight on a televised event when he was an amateur? You'd have given your right arm, wouldn't you?
Yeah, 100%.
You've seen some massive changes, I'm guessing, and obviously for the better.
Yeah, I'm going to try to put my phone on charge a sec. So.
Yeah, go on, buddy. Right, we're back on, Lou. We're back on after your phone charging incident. Yeah, I was just saying about how the youngsters today have got, even on the events, how lucky they are to have such these big stages to compete on.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when we used to go back and you'd be like, "Where's the medical?
Yeah.
You all right?"
Yeah. Put your earphone back in, Luke, because I can't hear you.
Oh, mate, I can't. It's one of those iPhones. I can only put the charger in.
Hold it a bit closer to you then, so I can hear you, because it's gone very quiet.
I can only put the headphones in.
That's fine. I can hear you okay there. Just keep it close. Keep it close.
Yeah, you know, you go, oh, where's the weigh-in? Why? Are you all right? Yeah, weigh-in done. Shit. I didn't get killed.
Times have changed, mate. Times have changed.
Yeah, he's like, oh, man.
What's next for you? What's next for you?
I just want to fight again. You know, lost my last bout. Like, you know, I just want to get back in there and, you know, make up for it. Regarding that fight, I've got a real my biggest downfall as a fighter is patience. I just want to get in and have a fight, and that's my problem. You know, I can't just let's get in, like get in.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And I just always need that bit of patience. You know, one day it'll click. It might be too late by then, but you know, I'm gonna keep trying until it does.
So is there any sign of a Bellator event coming soon?
I've had no news. They got a grappling match next month.
Yeah, so, I've seen that on Grapplefest. Yeah, up in Liverpool.
Yes.
Yeah. Who are you grappling on there, Lou?
Matt Hill, Ben Hill. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
something like that, you know. But he's from next gen. So yeah, they got a great stable of fighters as well.
Yeah, legit Jim, Paul Rimmer, and the guys up there. Yeah, brilliant team to be fair.
Yeah, so he's not going to be a mug like. So.
Right, so let's just hope this doesn't take too long and we can get back to normality. You can get back to doing what you enjoy most and fighting and all the rest of it. So I'm gonna finish off, Lou. A couple of quick fire questions. Dana White says to you, Lou, you're gonna run the show today. You've got an unlimited budget. What would be the fight you would put on if money was no? What fight would you love to see between two top level guys?
Man, do you know I've never watched the UFC card?
All right, you can be outside of the UFC. What? You've got to be two fighters that you think you would love to see fight.
I've never watched anything, honestly. I know.
Well, let's flip it to you then. Who would you match yourself against? What would be your dream fight?
I'm really so bad. I don't know. I don't think. I don't.
There must be someone out there that you'd want to fight. Everybody's got an aspiration thing. You know, I would have loved to have had a fight with this guy in his prime. It could be a past fighter as well.
I've never really thought like that. I mean, I'd like to go and train and spar and fight GSP. I mean, because what a definition of an athlete he is. You know. But yeah. Honestly, I don't think like that. Like, it really annoys people in the gym that I don't watch fights.
If you could rematch against anybody, who would it be? If you wanted, the last one, yeah.
Oliver and Cam, yeah. Taking control of the fight, no problem. Put him in some danger. But again, thought he was out, thought he was done, and just pushed the pace a bit too much and walked into something like. You know?
It's all a learning curve. That it's all a learning curve. Isn't it?
As you said before, it's only me that cares, like, you know. So.
Is GSP your favourite fighter of all time as well? Because that's another question we always ask. Who's your favourite fighter?
I've always liked Mark Hunt.
Mark Hunt, yeah. Just for his no bullshit, bang him out. You know, striking.
He's like shorter than me. Fights a heavyweight. You know, I know now he's being a bit of a bitch online all the time. But just hit you with a left hook and walk away, like, you know, Crow Cop kicked him in the head and he, survived.
Yeah. Yeah. What about in Bellator at the moment then? In the welterweight roster, two fighters that you'd love to have a scrap with. I've seen you call a couple out, so I've got a feeling that I know what one of them is going to be.
I always wanted to fight Walid.
Jimmy, yeah, that great fight. I think that would be. I think you stylistically match up well.
Yeah, I mean, I know bullshit. I got a lot of respect for him. I just think both good in all areas. It could go anywhere. A fight could be amazing. Like, you know. Yeah.
No reason that can't happen either. With them both being in the same division, same organisation as well.
Yeah, and now when shows happen back up, there's no international travel is there at the moment. So
it makes sense, yeah, domestically. Anyone else?
Not really. I mean,
I did see you call Dylan Dennis out.
Oh, fuck yeah, I'll be interested. Because I mean, as much jiu-jitsu is amazing and stuff, and ankle locks are amazing and all that, whatever. But fucking pull guard in an MMA fight and then duck for ankles, I'd fucking teach you what MMA.
Yeah, I think. Style-wise, that's a great fight for you because, you know, you're a good wrestler. I know he's got a good wrestling pedigree, Dennis, right? But I say this to everybody, there's jiu-jitsu and then there's jiu-jitsu for MMA, you know, and as you said, you get away with it against maybe a lower level, but you're a black belt BJJ, black belt judo, you know the intricacies of jiu-jitsu, and somebody pulls guard on yourself, I'm guessing you're rubbing your hands every time, regardless of their pedigree, if you can thump them in the face.
Yeah. Yeah, just hammer him and just be like whack-a-mole, you know, just be bang, boom, bang.
What do you think of his persona with Dylan? Because what I will say, what is he, 4-0? You know, he's a novice pro. He's fighting on one of the big events, and he does get a lot of attention. He's very, very Conor-esque. I think he's rubbed off on him with his social media persona.
Yeah, I think he's like just either like him or hate him. I think.
Yeah, bit of Marmite about him, isn't it?
Yeah, I just don't like the style of which he fights, and then he acts like he's amazing.
Yeah,
he might be great at jiu-jitsu, but fuck off and go jiu-jitsu then. You know what I mean? Don't. It's like being a high level. You know, it's like being a black belt MMA, a black belt BJJ, black belt judo, whatever, and still fighting amateur. You know?
Yeah.
You know, or you kidding? Like, you know, go pro, like, try there. And like, so, you know, he's a high level grappler fighting. You know, as you said, he's a fledgling pro. You know, probably being matched relative to his experience, and you know,
it's going to get tougher as he goes up the levels, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? You know, he's not beating anybody of any note, you know, with regard to their record and caliber of fighter. I don't believe yet, but it'll be interesting when they start, you know, lifting him up another level with some of them top 15 guys, just to see where he's at with it. How do you think you match up against some of them top 5 guys in the division?
In Bellator?
Yeah.
Who are the top 5?
Who's champion at welterweight?
I was what's his name? Prime. The guy who knocked out
MSV, yeah.
I thought that was awesome. That was amazing.
Would you like a fight with him, MVP?
I'm not too bothered.
How do you think you do style-wise with him?
Stylistically, he's just so long and so quick. It's just going to be so hard for him to close the range. Like, it'd be a nothing fight. If I wanted to win, I'd have to stay away and pick my time in, and he'd be dancing around to just be like, you know, what to do.
I do believe, mine. They've matched him. They've matched him cleverly. They you know, you've got a good pedigree with your grappling and wrestling. I'd be interested to see that fight. I'll be honest with you, because I think you've got a good enough striking to close that distance, and I think if you got your hands on him, you know.
I agree there. I just need, again, that little bit of patience. If I went in there with the right mind, a bit of patience, instead of get my hands in like that type of frame. When I get my hands together, it's so hard to do anything with. To get a body lock, I break people's ribs by accident. You know, it's just such a good squeeze, and it just especially that frame. If I get my legs around him, my arms around him, nice long neck, you know, take that off.
Right. Last one for you before I let you go, Lou. Welsh scene is booming at the moment, you know, outside of Bellator and Cage. I'll just take you guys out from Bellator and UFC. Who do you see being, you know, the next couple of guys to sign for them big events?
I think Owen is obviously, you know, he's been tutored right, and he seems to play the game very well. You know, his online persona is completely different to what he is.
Yeah, and what I will say about him, Lou, he's 22 years of age, and I've never coached an athlete like it. He's like a sponge. Yeah. You know, if you said to me now, he's fighting for a title, I'd be comfortable with him doing it. I want him to do it the right way, because he's one of these, I've got to rein him in. You know, ability-wise, I tried to have this conversation with him a couple of weeks back, and he did agree. I said, ability-wise, I can put you into a world title fight now. You could get signed for the UFC, I don't know, 5-6-0. I said, but what I want you having is that experience of main event in a Cage Warriors event in the ice arena, fighting for a world title, dealing with the media obligations, dealing with the nerves, the pressure of fighting in front of 4,000 Welsh fans. And you know, I think he's got a fantastic future. So he's one of those, again, this bloody pandemic hasn't helped, has it? Because I was aiming for him to be 7-0 by the end of this year, with 2021 being our aim point then.
Yeah, I mean, there's no rush, is there? He's 22. He's got to get those wins. You know, it's not like he's only going to be better now.
Yeah.
There's a bit of maturity and a bit of age, you know. So
yeah. Who else, mate?
Obviously Ben. I got to speak of Ben, haven't I? You know, again, just as you said, like Oban, what an athlete, you know. He
dedicated as well, you know. They tick all the boxes, don't they? Tick all the boxes.
Yeah. You know, like I look at him and I think I wish I was more like that, you know.
Yeah.
I like to go to the pub and have a sing along on a Saturday. Yeah. You know, but you know, he's not. He's like 100% for one thing.
Yeah.
You know. Who else we got from the other gym?
Well, we got Mason. I think Mason was. Mason, I think, was unlucky that the pandemic came when it did. I think he would have had a strong chance of getting signed after the title. I'd like to see him defend it, mind, I'll be honest with you. Again, just to have that apprenticeship for him so that, you know, he won the title at a behind closed door event. Yeah. I'd love him to be able to defend it now in Wales in front of 3,000-4,000 people, and then then the big company comes in for him then.
Yeah, the thing I like about Mason is he's a martial artist, you know. Still bows before he goes on the mat, and you know, like to us, you don't see it much these days, because he said, like, you know, we're all MMA, all our students are MMA guys now, you know. You know, it's just nice to see, you know, some people still hold that.
Yeah.
You know,
and another one who's been doing everything: judo, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, since he was a kid. That's so well rounded in every area now as well.
Yeah, you know, I mean, he comes down and spars here and there, you know, in and out. You know, it's nice to see him. Likes a fucking track, mind. He's like, I gotta go. That was an hour ago.
Yeah, he's somebody I'm going to try and get on now in the next. I got a couple of rugby guys booked in the next few weeks, and then try and get Mason on. Then I will just have a chat about where he's looking to go forward on it. Right, Lou, where can people find you on social media?
Lou_long at everything really.
That's on all platforms, yeah.
Yeah.
And just tell everybody a little bit about the Matt Academy, where they are, and you know who you cater for.
Matt Academy is down based in Treforest Industrial Estate, so just off A470, not far from the M4. Cater for kids. We've got plenty of kids classes in all disciplines. We've got a nice teenager academy sort of growing as well. And again, we've got keep fitters. People enjoy it, love it. You know, yeah, come along, join the family. You know, you always like, mate, you come in, we all have a laugh and learn something, take away.
Therefore. Right, I'll put all this on the slides at the end of the YouTube one. But you know, just want to say thanks, Lou, and fingers crossed. But this madness will end soon, and we'll see you, you know, doing what you do best, competing in that Bellator cage soon as well, buddy.
Brilliant, mate. Cheers, Shay.
Catch you soon, Lou.
Hey, legend. Ciao, buddy.